Hey, welcome to The Explainer. We're all about breaking down big ideas, and today, we've got one that might just change how you see your day-to-day life. It's this powerful tool for your mental well-being that's kind of hiding in plain sight.
Okay, so you know what triggers you, right? We all do. Those little things, or big things, that just set us off and totally hijack our mood. We talk about them all the time. But what if we slip the script? Today, we're going to talk about their powerful healing opposite.
Think of triggers like this internal alarm system going off. They're these moments that just light up our body's stress response. They're basically cues of danger that yank our nervous system into defense mode. And suddenly, feeling safe feels, well, completely impossible. So what if for every single one of those triggers, there was a glimmer just waiting for you to notice it? It's a really cool idea. See, while triggers are screaming danger and activating all that stress, glimmers do the exact opposite. They're these quiet, subtle little cues of safety that invite calm and connection. They're what gently guide our nervous system back to, feeling okay. Okay, so let's get into the definition. This term, glimmer, it comes from a therapist named Deb Dana. And here's the key. It's not some huge, life-changing event. Not at all. We're talking about micro-moments. They're small, they're subtle, sometimes they're gone in a flash. But in that moment, they send a direct message to your nervous system that just says, hey, you're okay. It's safe to relax. And this is what I think is so cool about them. They're so accessible. A glimmer isn't something you have to go out and find. It can be as simple as the warmth of your coffee cup in your hands. Or, your pet greeting you at the door. It could even be that tiny feeling of satisfaction when you finish a small task. They're already here, just woven into the fabric of our regular, everyday lives. Okay, but why? Why are these tiny little moments so incredibly powerful? To get that, we've got to look at the science behind it. Because this isn't just some feel-good, think happy thoughts kind of thing. Nope. This goes right down to the fundamental biology of our nervous system. And the roadmap for this comes from Dr. Stephen Porges' Polyvagal Theory. It sounds complicated, but the core idea is pretty simple. It suggests that our nervous system is like a little surveillance system, constantly scanning our environment for cues of safety or cues of danger. And depending on what it finds, it shifts us between three main states. And this is where you can really see the difference in action. So when our system spots a trigger, bam, it jumps into that fight or flight mode. Or if the threat feels like way too much, it goes into the freeze state. But a glimmer, it does the complete opposite. It's that signal of safety that turns on what's called our ventral vagal state. You can think of it as that biological sweet spot. It's where we can finally relax, connect with others, and just feel genuinely okay. So here's the most important part, really. We're not just passengers here being thrown around by these different states. We can actually do something. We can actively practice noticing glimmers to build up and strengthen that safe and social pathway in our brain. And Deb Dana lays out this really simple but powerful way to do it. First, you just see it. You notice the cue. Then you actually stop. Just pause and recognize what's happening. Next, you appreciate it. You spend just like 10 or 20 seconds letting that good feeling really land. And if you want, you can remember it later by writing it down or even share it with someone, which just brings it to life all over again. And a lot of these moments are about connection, right? They're deeply relational. I mean, listen to this from Anne-Marie. That feeling she gets from her grandson's smile, that's a perfect example of how a simple, genuine human connection can send this incredibly powerful signal of safety straight to our nervous system. But they don't have to be about other people. They can be purely sensory, like what Bennifer describes here. The sun on your face, the sound of wind. I mean, how simple is that? That can be a really potent nonverbal cue to your body that says, hey, right here, right now, you're okay, all is well. Okay, we need to talk about something really important now. It's so easy to hear this and think it's just about looking on the bright side, but it's not. What we're talking about here is way, way deeper than that. And look, it's a totally fair question to ask. We get so much advice to just be positive all the time, right? It's no wonder so many of us are skeptical of anything that feels like it's just trying to paper over our real struggles. That's toxic positivity. And this isn't that. Because noticing glimmers is not about pretending everything is fine. Let's be super clear. This is a nervous system intervention. Think of it like going to the gym for your nervous system. You're building your biological capacity, your resilience, so that you're just better equipped to handle the hard stuff, which, is definitely going to come. And actually, for anyone who's been through trauma, this can be really, really hard at first, and that makes perfect sense. When your nervous system has been trained for survival, it becomes an absolute expert at one thing, scanning for threats. It learns to just filter out these little moments of safety because they're not survival relevant. So for a lot of people, learning to spot glimmers is a brand new skill you have to build, actively and intentionally right from the ground up. So, okay, you do this. You start this simple daily practice. What's the end game? What's the long-term impact? Well, it all comes down to two words: repetition and rewiring. And you know, this idea has absolutely exploded. 27 million posts on TikTok with the hashtag glimmers. That's huge. It just goes to show you there's this massive collective hunger for real, tangible tools that can help us feel safe from the inside out. And that hunger, it's tapping into a basic truth about our brains. Neuroscientists have a fancy term for it: experience-dependent neuroplasticity. But all it means is that our brains change based on our experiences. Your nervous system learns through repetition. So every single time you pause to notice a glimmer, even if it's just for 3 seconds, you're doing a rep at the gym for the skill of feeling safe. You are literally physically building a new neural pathway in your brain. And that brings us to the final and maybe biggest idea. This very personal practice, it actually has a public impact. It's what Deb Dana talks about. When we become more regulated ourselves, we naturally help regulate the people around us. It just kind of happens. So it leaves you with a question, right? By collecting our own tiny moments of safety,